Welcome to Staff Works Explained. If you are here for the first time, please consider subscribing to this channel. Also hit the notification bell so that whenever you upload a new video, you are notified. In this video, we'll be talking about Galana Kulalu, which is described as the Kenya's costliest food security bet and the lesson it carries. Few development projects in Kenya capture the scale of national ambition, public expectation and institutional failure, quite like Galana Kulalu project. Conceived as the backbone of the Kenya's long-term food security strategy, the project was meant to turn vast arid land at the coast into a reliable engine of agriculture production. More than a decade after its launch, Galana Kulalu stands not only as the test of Kenya's capacity to execute mega projects, but also as a case study in how planning and financing, governance and risk management can determine success or prolonged decay. Here we examine what the project is, how it is structured, how much has been spent, what progress has been made so far, why early attempts failed, and what Galana Kulalu realistically offers Kenya's economy if it succeeds. Galana Kulalu is located in Kilifi and Tana River counties, spanning an estimated of 1.5 million acres of largely semi-arid land. Project was designed to unlock this land through large-scale irrigation, commercial farming, and downstream agro-processing, reducing Kenya's dependence on food imports while creating jobs and stabilizing food prices. It is implemented by the National Irrigation Authority (NIA) under Kenya's broader Food Security and Vision 2030 frameworks. What the project was designed to do. At the core, Galana Kulalu project is an irrigation-led agriculture project development. The project is structured around three main components. First, its initial irrigated production, focusing on about 20,000 acres under irrigation. This phase is intended to demonstrate commercial viability, attract private investors, and generate early output. Crops prioritized include maize, staple foods, which are critical to national food supply. Second is a bulk water infrastructure anchored on the planned Galana Dam, designed to restore or to store hundreds of millions of cubic meters of water. This reservoir is meant to ensure year-round irrigation, allowing farming to move away from rain dependence. In project management terms, this dam is a single most critical dependency. Without it, large-scale expansion remains constrained. Third is phased expansion, ultimately targeting over 200,000 irrigated acres. This expansion means or model allows capital investment, land preparation and production to scale gradually rather than all at once, reducing financial and operational risk. Beyond crops, the broader concept includes livestock ranching, agro-processing, access road, renewable energy for pumping, and support services. The intention here is to build an integrated agricultural value chain rather than a standalone farm. Let's look at the funding model and the shift from to public-private partnership. When Galana Kulalu was launched in 2013, it was largely state-funded, with approximately 9 billion Kenya shillings committed in the early stages. That model proved unsustainable. High capital cost, weak output, and mounting fiscal pressure forced a rethink. The current approach relies heavily on public-private partnership or PPPs. Under this model, the government provides land, enabling infrastructure and regulatory support, while private firms invest capital, technology, and operational expertise. A notable example is the 12.5 billion Kenya shillings investment by Selu Limited, which has taken up part of the irrigated area for commercial production. From an economics perspective, these shifts reflect a clear lesson. Large-scale irrigation projects carry long-term or long payback periods and operational risk that governments struggle to absorb alone. PPPs spread risk, but they also demand stronger contract management, performance monitoring, and transparency than earlier phases demonstrated. What is the progress on the ground? Unlike earlier years dominated by planning documents and pilot farms, Galana Kulalu has recorded tangible progress. Irrigation Infrastructure has been installed in the initial zones, including pumping system, water storage facilities, and distribution networks. Cultivation has begun on hundreds of acres with maize and other crops planted and early harvests reported. A major turning point came in late 2025 when contracts for Galana Dam was signed. From a project execution standpoint, this is significant. The dam moves the project closer to resolving its core constraint: reliable, scalable water supply. Supporting infrastructure such as access roads, bridges, solar-powered pumping systems is also being rolled out to reduce operational costs and improve logistics. However, progress remains incremental relative to scale originally promised. The progress is still in the early delivery phase. Why did earlier attempts fail? Galana Kulalu's troubled past is well documented and cannot be separated from its current structure. One of the most demanding setbacks was the withdrawal of original Israeli contractor Green Arava following contractual disputes. The exit left behind incomplete works and raised questions about procurement processes, contract design, and oversight. By the time the contractor exited, billions of shillings had already been spent. The initial model farm failed to meet production targets. Yields fell far below projections, undermining confidence in project commercial logic. Expectations that the model farm would finance expansion proved unrealistic. Audits and parliamentary reviews pointed to a deeper structural issue: poor feasibility analysis, weak risk allocation, lack of competitive tendering, and contracts that did not adequately account for operations and maintenance. In project management terms, the project suffered from scope optimism, inadequate due diligence, and weak governance control. Environmental and logistics challenges compounded these problems. The land is remote, semi-arid, and initially lacked roads, power and security infrastructure. Wildlife conflicts and high pumping costs further eroded productivity. What is the economic value and potential benefits of this project? Despite its history, Galana Kulalu still carries significant economic potential. If expanded successfully, the project could potentially or materially reduce Kenya's maize deficit, lowering import bills and saving foreign exchange. Stable domestic supply would help dampen food prices volatility, which disproportionately affects low-income households. Employment creation is another major benefit. Large-scale irrigation supports direct farm jobs and indirect employment across transport, processing, storage, and input supply in regions with limited economic opportunities. This has meaningful development implications. From a structural economics perspective, Galana Kulalu supports a shift from rain-fed subsistence farming to irrigated commercial agriculture. This transition increases land productivity, improves resilience to climate shocks, and supports agro-industrial growth, which is central to Kenya's long-term development strategy. Galana Kulalu future depends less on ambition and more on execution discipline. The project must maintain realistic phasing, align with infrastructure delivery, with cultivation capacity, and ensure that private partners are held to clear performance benchmark. Transparency in procurement and cost reporting and output will be essential to restoring public confidence. Most importantly, water infrastructure must be delivered on time within cost. Without it, expansion targets remain theoretical for that matter. In conclusion, we can say that Galana Kulalu is no longer just a food security project. It's another test for whether Kenya can learn from the past failures and execute complex, capital-intensive development programs effectively. The shift to PPPs, renewed infrastructure investment, and early production mark a departure from earlier missteps. Yet, the project scale means success will be measured not in announcement but in sustained output, economic returns, and institutional accountability. If Galana Kulalu succeeds, and should succeed, it could redefine Kenya's agricultural capacity and strengthen economic resilience for decades. If it falters, again, it will reinforce hard lessons about governance, planning, and cost of getting mega projects wrong. The outcome remains open. but the margin for error is now narrow. So thank you for reaching this far. If it's your first time here, please consider subscribing to this channel. You can also hit the notification bell so that whenever you upload a new video, you're notified. You can watch other videos that you have done on different topics in this channel, and also leave a comment about the success of how this project may turn out to be. Thank you.